about handing with all this bullshit? Hey everybody, it's Drewski McGillicuddy, and today, before I show you the stuff that I found in the wild and a few things that may or may not have been ordered off the intranet, there's something on the intranet that needs to be addressed. I, believe it or not, have been banned from Facebook again for 30 more days. For what reason, might you ask, this time? Simply quoting a movie. Maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't. There's a movie called The Last Boy Scout, and over in this movie group I'm in, this fellow DJ Castano, who you might know from Boy Meets World, he played Sean and Corey's substitute teacher, or he was one of the teachers. It's not really him, that's his profile picture. Anyway, that's beside the point. Point is, he posted this poster in this group, and simply I quoted the movie. My favorite line in the movie, you might have seen the movie, they're smacking Bruce Willis around and he says to him,
"If you touch me again, I'll kill you."
So I commented that, and I made sure to asterisk out the I and kill so that the Facebook Nazi bots wouldn't be able to fucking decipher it. But sure enough, they did. And then I disputed it. I said this was taken out of context. Now, granted, there should have been quotation marks around the quote itself, probably. I don't know. But still, like, I wasn't talking to another living person. I was quoting a movie. They shared the poster, and I quoted the fucking movie. But hey, you're not allowed to do that. But you are allowed to share big, giant fucking dildos, because there's this radio personality in Cincinnati called Kid Chris, and he posted this, and he said, "Now that's what I call working with a bunch of dicks." And I'll probably get demonetized for showing you this image, but I'm trying to, like, get a point across. I saw this in my newsfeed. Here I am, banned. I'm not allowed to comment and say, well, how come you could post this, but I'm not allowed to talk about movie quotes? Okay? So what I did, just to test it, not that I gave a shit, not that I was reporting it to be a Karen, just to test my theory, I thought, I'm going to report this to Facebook, and we'll see if they remove it. Well, sure enough, big giant dildos don't go against community standards. I'm at a fucking loss for words, everybody. A fucking loss for words. This is okay, but this isn't. Also, the secretary showed me that there was this sensitive photo that they had to cover up. And this is what they were covering up. Gun safety. Can't have gun safety. Just fucking give it to them, let them run around in public, see what happens. I don't fucking know anymore, all right? There's a bunch of other shit that I wanted to get off my chest, but I just want to show you the stuff that I found. So first up, the secretary was nice enough to get me some hats. Wasn't that nice of her? She got me this one for when it's really, really cold outside. And she got me this one for just, rocking up and down the block. Yeah, and they're from Fright Rags. They're very nice, very, very high quality material. I'm not the biggest fan of the Fright Rags logo on the side. Not that I don't want to represent the company that's, providing me with such awesome hats. So if you want an awesome hat like this, I'm sure you can go over to Fright Rags. Blah, 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 blah. And look, it kind of goes with my fancy 40th anniversary Dawn of the Dead hoodie. But don't worry about that. We're going to take a card out of over the top. I'm going to turn this sumbitch around backwards. We're going to show you what we got. So the first couple items, as always, come from the Goodwill. And I picked up Tango and Cash, and I couldn't believe it. I literally watched this on the Action Double Feature DVD, and it's one of those situations where the picture's like in the middle of the screen, and you got to put it on like cinema mode to have it like take up the whole screen, but then you still have little black square. It's like having a rectangle in the middle of a rectangle zoomed in poor quality. But hey, now I got it on Blu-ray, and if you ain't ever seen Tango and Cash, it's super underrated. I don't know why this has such a low grade on IMDb or anything else. I mean, it's Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell at their finest. Okay, all right, okay, and they're the most different cops that you can have, but then they got to team up to take down the baddie. Just go watch the fucking movie. And I'm pretty sure, I'm not absolutely positive, but I'm pretty sure beginning of this movie, I have some of the first boobs that I ever seen on record. And then I picked up a movie that the secretary can't watch because she's got the PTSD, but I probably shouldn't tell everybody that. But yeah, she used to work at a bank. This movie's about a bank robbery. Obviously, she ain't gonna want to watch it. But I remember liking this movie a lot when I watched it way back when I worked at Blockbuster. But I haven't seen it since I worked at Blockbuster, so I figured for $3, I'll add it to the collection. It can sit over there until one of these days. I also picked up a movie that I've been meaning to watch for the longest time, since 2012 or whenever the hell it came out. I can't even remember when it came out. But that's Moonlight. It won Best Picture. It was nominated for several Oscars. And it's about the life and times of this, black guy who, turns out that I guess he's gay. But who cares? Who cares? It's just supposed to be a real good movie. And that's all I care about, is watching real good movies. Because I also picked up 12 Years a Slave, which is a real good movie. I mean, it's a tough subject to talk about, but damn it if it wasn't well made, well acted, well directed, the fucking costuming, everything about this movie is pretty much perfect, other than the fact that all this shit kind of actually happened. But hey, at least it's not going on anymore, right? Save that for last, because that's a pretty big idea. So we're gonna cut all this out. Next one, I was at the Big Lots buying some new furniture for the bedroom so that we could live like adults instead of a bunch of people with a bunch of mismatched bullshit. Don't worry about that. Worry about the fact that I picked up Kingpin for $5. And God, I can't remember the last time I watched this movie. I remember watching it in the movie theater with my father, and we laughed and laughed and laughed. And this movie has one of the funniest scenes ever put to screen. They're fleeing somebody in a car at a high rate of speed, and they look behind them, and Dennis Quaid's character is just sitting there makes me laugh. So this next stack came from Arcade Legacy. Arcade Legacy, where I spend most of my time and money. Actually, I spend most of my time at work so that I can go to Arcade Legacy and spend all my money on Green Inferno Director's Cut. Now, I have not seen this, nor have I seen Cannibal Holocaust, but this is pretty much an homage, I guess, to Cannibal Holocaust from the sick and twisted mind of Eli Roth. Now, say what you will about Eli Roth, but he does, have a good eye for horror. Now, some of the actors that get cast in this movie, they can be better. Like Hostel, I feel like the acting, maybe not the second one so much, but the first Hostel, some of the acting is just, I don't know, there's just something, it bothers me. Now, not that I don't love the Hostel movies for being, what they are, because, you can only love torture porn so much. But this is a cannibal film. Recently rewatched Eli Roth's Death Wish, which I really need to review because I don't understand what the hell people's problems is. Yeah. And then again, who knows? Maybe I've already reviewed Death Wish, but I haven't reviewed Green Inferno, so maybe one of these days, me and the secretary will sit down and we'll watch Green Inferno and we'll get back with you on our thoughts. And even though it's blasphemy, and I'm aware that it's blasphemy, I have never seen the original Suspiria. Now, I put the DVD in about 10, 15 years, I don't know, it was years and years ago, put it in, got through the first 15 minutes, and it wasn't for me at that time. Not that there's movies that I haven't watched that I was like, eh. And then later on in life, went back and watched them and was like, oh yeah, it was really good. But yeah, I just haven't got around to watching Suspiria. And then they remade it And I never got around to watching it either. But for $6, I figure why not add it to the collection? Then maybe one of these days when I find Suspiria on Blu-ray for a reasonable price, because the last time it was $80 for like the 4K Synapse release, and it was like, are you fucking nuts? I'm not going to pay that much for a movie I haven't seen that I possibly do not like, which don't get mad at me if I possibly won't like Suspiria. It's not my fucking fault. Just like Cody Leach doesn't like Freddy's Dead, but that's probably his fault. Actually, I blame his fucking parents, really. Oh, God. Here we are to the movie that got me banned from Facebook. The Last Boy Scout. And it's a double feature. It comes with The Last Man Standing, and I feel like a lot of people completely forgot that this movie existed. Because The Last Man Standing is probably one of Bruce Willis's most underrated films. It's got Christopher Walken, and it's about this guy who's like stranded in this podunk town back in like the 1920s or 1930s, and it's got a big shootout. I remember that. Other than that, I don't really remember it, but I remember watching it all the time on VHS. But I haven't seen it since I was probably 13, so that's going to change. Now, I have recently rewatched The Last Boy Scout, but it was in the worst quality possible. Now we're going to watch it in high definition Blu-ray. Touch me again, I'll kill you. And there's a couple other things I wanted to show you, but Jesse, being that I spend so much money in there, was so nice enough when I asked him how much he wanted for this beautiful VHS. Well, he's got a little scratch right there, but that's fine. One of my favorite VHS covers, one of the most simple VHS covers of all time. Probably the best Batman symbol of all time. Yeah, I had to have it. I had to have it. And guess how much it was? Free. Gave it to me for free because he loves me. All right, and I caught this next movie on Netflix a couple years back, and I've never seen it out in the wild. I've never seen it for sale anywhere, and then all of a sudden Jesse had it on his little, hey, look what I found this past Tuesday. Let me know if you want it, I'll hold it for you post. And I said, yeah, I want it. Hold it for me. And that's Late Phases. Something about Lone Wolf. Night of the Lone Wolf. See, I just thought this whole time thought it was called Late Phases, because that's all it was called on Netflix. It just said Late Phases had this cover. It didn't say nothing about Night of the Lone Wolf. But anyway, if you've seen Stakeland, this has the older guy from Stakeland who is a Vietnam War vet. He's blind, and Ethan Embry is putting him into not necessarily a nursing home, more like a retired people that can still kind of tend to themselves, but you know, a community for old people. And in this community for old people, people have been being murdered in mysterious ways under the light of the moon. So this guy puts two and two together and says, hey, there's a fucking werewolf running around. So I'm going to train for the next month, and I'm going to fuck that wolf up next time the moon's full. Did I mention he's blind? But yeah, badass werewolf movie. Probably the best werewolf movie to come out in the past 10, 15, I don't know. Before this, I don't remember the last good werewolf movie. I still haven't got to see that movie Where, which that might be good, but you know, never got to see it. But Lone Wolf, something. Night of this fucking. You remember last week I picked up some Godzilla movies. Now I picked up the Godzilla movie, and that's right, it's the Criterion. Now I was hesitant to get it because I know Devon Graham had made a video about his Criterion collection. And his complaint with the Criterion collection is it doesn't have that American dubbed. And that takes away from like the nostalgia, especially for me, because when I was a little kid, I remember watching American dub. Now, typically when I'm watching like any other kind of foreign horror film, I don't want to watch the American dub. I want to listen to the original language, whether it be French, Spanish, or Japanese, and just read the subtitles. But when it comes to Godzilla movies, it's so much funner when, you know, their mouths are moving to Japanese, but they're speaking English. It's just, it cracks me up. But I actually called Devon Graham on Messenger and was like, hey, I'm about to pick this up. I need to know if I can watch it with the dubbed things. And he said, sure enough, if you look at the special features, it includes new high definition digital restoration of Godzilla King of the Monsters, which is basically what Godzilla was called in America. Because nobody will shut the fuck up about it, I figured I'd pick up Psycho Goreman. And I'm pretty excited to watch this because as much as I hate to admit it, I used to watch the shit out of the Power Rangers. And basically this is a rated R Power Rangers with blood, guts, fingers, and toes. So, and I heard that maybe the little girl that controls Psycho Goreman might aggravate me, but you know, a lot of things aggravate me anymore the older I get. I had a brain fart and I don't have time to go back and watch the other one to make sure I didn't already post this or talk about this. I don't remember when I bought it, but I went to the Redbox and I bought a movie because everybody's talking about how underrated it is and how it's the new big cult classic. So I picked me up a copy of The Empty Man. $4 at the Redbox. It's like you could pay $2 to rent it or you pay $4 to buy it. Like, what am I, fucking stupid? What if I like it? What if I want to watch it again? What if I want to keep it for more than one day? So I gave him $4 and now I have this fancy Redbox disc, which, you know, maybe one of these days I'll get a regular disc thing or case and put some artwork in there and then make it sit over there on a shelf somewhere. Or I'll just keep it in the Redbox thing and then it'll be a reminder that this movie never got a fucking physical release for some reason, aside from its Redbox disc. All right, and the next item, the last item, I cheated. I totally cheated. I ordered this from Amazon. I had the secretary's mother order it for me. I gave her the cash because I didn't want the secretary to know about it because I knew she would have got pissed because for some reason, I guess she doesn't like this movie. A lot of people don't like this movie. I don't even like this movie. So why the hell did I pay $20 for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation? Because even though I don't like this movie, I still fucking love this movie. I don't know what it is. There's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with the people that made this fucking movie. And, you know, I have no idea. But I do know that my grandson, I know, it's hard to believe, he got pissed off because he watched all the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3. But then I skipped watching this one with him. But it was just a lousy old DVD anyway, so it's not that big a deal. Now we can watch it in the ultimate resolution experience. Plus, I hate this fucking cover, okay? I cannot wait to open this and just turn it around the way it's supposed to be. Well, fuck, that's not any better, is it? I don't remember this being the case either. When I was a kid, this is the fucking what the movie looked like. This was what the case looked like, okay? Why didn't they give me that cover? I mean, this is better than the other side, but Jesus Christ, what? Come on, Shout Factory, Scream Factory, whatever the fuck you call yourselves. Give me a third option. Anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway, I got no more time for this bullshit. So everybody, please, if you like this, let me know by clicking these buttons. And if you want to join the conversation down below by letting me know what you thought about all this stuff, there's these other buttons, and there's buttons. Just push the fucking buttons, okay? Also, if you want to help support me on Patreon, there's a link for that down below. You don't have to. I do have a new patron. I need to make a new patron card, and I promise to God I'll do that within the next time I make a video. Until then, Chris Fluffington, Fluffers, Fluffy, whatever the fuck. Thank you for joining the patron thingy dingy, and get the fuck out.